Hi, Yaroslav. Welcome to BizTalk. It's my great pleasure to meet you today. How are you?
I'm good, Max. Thank you. Nice
Great.
to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. So let's start talking about yourself, a little bit of your background.
I represent Recoshelf. I'm CEO of the startup that helps retail to sell more. Before, I worked for various companies. Actually, from IT industry, I did software development, product management, and initially I worked for scientific center, ULRMC, that served different organizations with space imagery, derived information, GIS systems. Also, I worked for a cadastre company where I did recognition of imagery, mostly aerial imagery for Blom UK that serves Ordnance Survey, governmental agency of UK that builds the maps. So for 3 years, I was involved to building this automated image recognition system. After that, I jumped to Nokia here when I was country manager for a few years, and I did mapping for Eastern Europe. And those maps were derived also from imagery, space imagery, or dashcam imagery from the special car, like Google car. We had our car, and we've collected lots of imagery from the roads. And in between, I worked for some venture fund named Adventures. I did analysis of companies. I formed a pool of companies. And currently I manage Recoshelf for nearly 3 years, the startup in area of computer vision as well. And we do it for retail now, for recognizing objects in retail, like products, people. Imagine you came to a supermarket looking for a favorite juice. You go around the shelves and find nothing. You're upset, and likely you go to another place and first would lose your loyalty and money. This is $1 trillion problem we help to resolve with our system, like this camera installed against every shelf. And we monitor what is happening on the shelf. We also track people at the cash desk, and we prevent long queues and missing product situations. Technology is this. We have camera, we have cloud service that recognizes the objects, and in the center you see the reds. This is the machine vision, how machine actually sees the image, and it recognizes inside what is there. Is it juice? Is it milk? What is it? And then if it's not recognized, if nothing found, information would be sent to appropriate people in the shop. So what products do we have for now? We have services of product recognition. We have planogram check, Q control, and temperature control. The business model is this. We charge from $10 to $40 per camera installed. So it's quite obvious, quite transparent. And for now, we have signed contract with our first customer who owns 800 shops. So we believe we installed at least thousands of cameras with appropriate MRR. And I should say this is quite big market. This is $30 trillion market, retail. And we occupy just small niche that is called computer vision for intelligent flow operations control. And this niche also grows very fast with pace of 40%. And what is interesting, that investments to this retail tech grew 100% from last year. And it reached 3 billion. So it's quite unique situations, quite exponential growth is rarely found in these markets. How do we find customers? Because we are B2B, we work with big companies, multi-billion turnover companies. We work through like face-to-face meetings with top managers, like innovation managers, CTOs, commercial directors, owners of companies. We also take part in exhibitions, like we fly to CES in January. We visit different big events, including online events. And also we have some inbound traffic, but also through partners, we found some customers like Nielsen, GfK, and IT consultants that help us to sell product. A particularity, we don't charge any money for this pilot. We do it for a few months when we together with customer recognize and define what is the actual value. What is the problem? How could we resolve it? And is it reasonable to resolve it with this technology or different technology, if it makes sense at all? And after we've counted, after we estimated this business case, we do commercial launch. There are many companies that operate in this area, quite hot area. And 2 years ago, I did this table first time, and the most companies were independent. Now they are M&As by other market players or retail players. And what is interesting, we have quite good ratio exit to investment. It's nearly 10 times. I think it will grow because of this competition for quality startups, for quality technologies. Our difference, we have other tools on top of computer vision. We have sensors. We have also queue control on top of product control. Also, we have quite low cost. Like we pay 5% of tax for R&D, and we have technology that helps to deliver quite high accurate results with small data set. So we need to feed few images, not thousands, not millions images to recognize products with decent quality, like 97, 98, 99% in some cases. And as I mentioned, we use free of charge pilots, and we don't charge for cameras. It's quite low cost camera. It's IoT camera. That's why it's affordable. For now, we have 3 investors. We have many pilots running. We have commercial customer. We have all the roles in the team that covers all the business areas. Traction for now looks like this. There are retail chains and there are suppliers in this list. And there are some companies awaiting our pilot because we cannot facilitate all of those at once. We have not enough resources. That's why we look for financing. To satisfy expectations of our customers, we need to expand features in our product, increase accuracy, and for this we have a roadmap that would bring more features, higher value of products, and higher MRR. This is an example of how it looks like in reality. This is the shelf of one of the biggest international 12th global retail company. And we recognize there are 2 missing products. You see red zeros on the right. This is what system sees or actually doesn't see. And it would trigger the message in communicator to bring this product. This is temperature control interface. This is queue control. We have kind of shop cards, and this card shows the status. Red means there is a queue, and they should open another cash desk. They use it for control of the facilitation of performance of shops, but also to have high level picture to count bonuses and estimate KPIs and do all those managerial things. Machine makes magic. You see, there is a recognition of the image, the cashier identified as the center of the image, and people in the queue in blue. The team consists of mostly IT specialists. So all of people worked in IT, with IT, and many people completed PhD courses, including myself. And we have sales in UK. We cooperate with Matt, who did sales for big companies like Fujitsu, IT outsourcing companies, and with Archie, who also help us to sell, to generate leads. And we have developers. We have advisors from retail and marketing people. Now we look for quite small money, kind of bridge investment to satisfy expectations in our current pilots, to expand features, and also to sell in Europe. Cost structure looks like this. So the most of it would be spent for R&D, for product, but also we need to buy cameras and other equipment to install in the shop. The forecast, financial forecast looks like this. We're gonna get up to $1 million revenue next year due to our existing contract and a few contracts we want to sign soon after pilots. What is interesting is quite healthy gross margin is about 70% because this is soft. We just copy the code and easily create new products. So thank you for your time. Let's help retail to sell more with us. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Aslam. Thank you very much. I mean, quite interesting. Now, regarding the product, how many applications you can have with your device? I mean, for now, you use it in stores, okay, for shelves, to check cash desk, and so on. But as you say, you can modify, okay?
Yes.
Accordingly with your customer. So how many applications you think you can have?
We may use it for production, for control of the production process, for quality control, particularly when you have production line. If something is wrong, the computer vision helps to identify this error or issue. We may use it for B2C, like I install it at my house to control if my dog is still there or if anybody entered some line or some area. We may also use it for like parking control when I have a big parking lot and I want to control if there is any free space. So we thought about different applications. Now we are focused on retail because it's quite, we have paying customer actually, but we also think other applications like navigation in the shop. We have application in my phone and I entered milk and it directs me to the milk shelf. So this is what we discussed with delivery companies. It would help their people to faster collect goods for their orders, but also for irregular people, for customers.
You're using now for retailers, okay? You can check the temperature. You can check also if there is enough stored and so on. May I ask, what about when, because that's pretty much invasive when it comes to, for example, queuing in the cash desk. How do you manage it? Because you can actually, you see the face of each of them.
Do you ask about privacy question?
Yes, because there is a big deal in Europe about privacy when it comes to face recognition, and in your case, it's going to be face recognition as well. So how do you manage the privacy issue here?
What I learned from Nokia times, because we did collection of the photos, and until we publish anything, until we recognize the person, it's not considered as private information. We don't know who is this person. We don't have any age, anything about this person in our database. We just count people, and I think we will be doing this GDPR compliance when time comes, but I don't see like really serious obstacles.
Okay. Where are you testing now? In Europe, in your country? Where are your payees, customers now?
Yeah, we have customers in Ukraine, but one of the customers is international, French chain that operates in Europe. This is 12th biggest retailer. And we do a pilot here, but if it's successful, it might be reproduced in other countries. Also, we spoke to big company in America that serves Amazon. And I fly to Wally next in a month, and we'll speak about pilot. So they monitor the perishables, the products spoil fast, and they want to prevent waste. So this is the potential of growth. But also we have, as I mentioned, UK sales who operate from London and who talk to different mid-level chains and IT consultancy companies who serve Tesco's of this world. And this is our promising future. Everyone knows
Amazon is creating stores without humans inside. How helpful can be your device? And can you actually, with your device, placing it in several spaces inside the store, check everything inside, in, out, even people stealing something.
Yes, we have some thoughts how to prevent stealing. Like technology is very simple because our camera is installed against every shelf. We make photos every second, every minute. We trace the people that is like IDs for system. So this guy like with red hair is like ID 1. And after this guy visited this shelf, like bottle of whiskey disappeared, we noted that, and then we send information to the cash desk camera that controls the exit. And if this red hat hasn't declared this bottle, it might be considered as suspicious. So this is the way to detect and prevent actually thefts. With Amazon, Amazon actually they have most of their shops are like normal shops. This company we worked with, they like have kind of their space in the Whole Foods chain, it's Amazon-owned chain, and they fully responsible for everything that happens in their corner. So we just help them using our technology, not Amazon technology, to do their job.
Okay, I mean, how expensive it is adapting the same device if you adapt the same device from one service to another, from temperature to recognize spaces, empty shelves, or
we have microservice architecture that helps us to build new service in just a matter of days. We take the appropriate blocks, like if you like temperature, shelf, and queue, all of services, we may do it in 2 or 3 days. If you just temperature, it's 1 day, but it's a matter of days. Another thing is training of the machine. Like we train machine to recognize new products. It takes up to 1-2 weeks, depends on the products. It's quite fast.
Okay. I mean, in terms of, I suppose you're not producing, okay? So someone will produce for you. How does the supply chain works for your company? Where do you produce your devices, and how you make sure they are perfectly fit for you?
We did our own devices in the very beginning. I did assembly myself, but I didn't work. We decided to buy standard product from China. We cooperate with this plant. They deliver, this camera is, by the way, certified in the European Union. It's CE certificate in the States, and takes 1 week to deliver. So currently I negotiate about delivering of hundreds of cameras. They already made 300s, and they would make more in just 1 week. And for this new customer, we will acquire like 500s of cameras, and it would be shipped in 1 week.
Okay. And after you apply your technology to the device, okay?
Yeah, we upload the code to this device, and this is all we modify, all modifications we do to this device.
And are we talking a completely proprietary IP? It does belong to you?
Yes, we have contracts with all the developers. It belongs to Estonian headquarters.
Okay. I mean, in terms of marketing, you said you work B2B, so, but you know better than me. B2B is maybe easier to reach, but it's very long to achieve, which means you have few people to talk to, but a contract can last for 1 year negotiation. So
yeah, right.
How do you manage it? And which are in your mind your ideally customer clients? They say no customer.
We have many pilots running parallel. With some customers, we already work for 2 years. With others, we work for 1 year, and few customers that are suppliers, they're faster. They're ready to buy in matter of months, few months. Like they want auto ordering for their water product. Like we have installed our cameras, and it says to their logistics to order for next day X amount of bottles. This is the fastest path. So this big B2B company, like Coca-Cola level of sales, but they're fast in decision making. Probably because they're not as big as retail. In retail, you may have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in one chain in certain country. In the production, in supplier chain business, you have up to 1,000 people. It depends if we work with the owner of chain. Sometimes we connect with owners. It's faster, but it takes more than half a year usually. Yeah.
Between negotiation and having the contract.
And contract, yeah. Yeah.
And you're running a few pilots now.
Yeah.
I think the longest is 2 years.
Yeah.
How long do you think you need to achieve the ultimate product and start selling? Because one day you need to start making some money.
It depends. With some chains, we've reached the contract point in like 7 months after negotiations. With supply we speak about, I will meet them tomorrow. We may sign contract by the end of the year because we already demonstrated some results. We want to chart them for next steps. Like we adjusted to your fridge. It would cost you X amount. We sign this contract with the fee like $40 or $10, whatever, per camera. And we go.
Hey, let's talk a little bit more about your business model, okay? You sell cameras one by one, of course, maybe 10, 100 by 100 when they're big enough. And after you use a SaaS model?
Yeah. So we cover our all expenses with this payment. So there is a camera, there is development, there is cloud service, and machine learning service is quite machine time intensive thing. All of it is covered with this payment. So
you break even with the device, and after you should make some profit with the business.
Yeah, because this device is $20. So first month covers device. And machine learning, it costs more. But we have, first of all, we have free credits from some big players like Microsoft Azure or other players. But after credits are consumed, we switch to commercial plan. But anyways, it would be not too high cost after we train machine. So biggest expense is in the very beginning, buying cameras, train machine, and then it drops to matter of dollars, just dollars a month per camera.
How do they pay you? Monthly or pay you?
Monthly, yeah, monthly payment. We send a report about the cameras, how many cameras, the time, and we have special report for customers, and we generate the invoice from it.
And do they pay for camera, or do they pay for how many, let's say, the services any camera can deliver? I mean, temperature.
They pay per camera or per sensor. It depends on the configuration of service. Like 10 cameras in the shop for Q control, 100 cameras for shelf control, and 50 temperature controls. Different codes, but this is a single contract and single invoice with separate lines. This is how it looks like.
Okay, so you're raising 200K, and for mostly R&D, what I can see, and marketing and sales, and buy some more goods. It's a small amount of money. How long can you last with 200? And do you need another round very soon?
With this, we would reach break-even. We would reach it without. It takes more time. It's small money because we have quite low cost of R&D, and this is very like healthy model because of this high margin, like 70%.
So actually, 70% gross margin.
Yeah, this growth without tax, without all the commissions or salaries.
Okay. So after this 200, you don't think you need another round, so you go straight to be cash flow positive and start generating profit. Yeah.
This is the breakdown of money in terms of customers. So for customers number one, they want auto shelf control, and we need to pay 50K. Invest 50K to make it happen, to satisfy their expectations. For another customers, they want other type of they want to integrate with their logistics. It costs about 40K. So this is for certain customers. And if you get all those customers, they will generate hundreds of thousands a month. So once we reach this feature functionality of our product, we would immediately receive a very high MRR.
Okay, interesting. Now, where do you see your company? What's the vision for your company?
Yeah, we want to be a big player in Eastern Europe.
Let's say
Sorry?
In 5 years' time, we can see Recoshelf.
Yeah, I estimate it would cost up to 50 millions, and we would be successful in Eastern Europe, where we have kind of our central place of business. But also we would challenge the market leaders in countries like Germany, UK, France, and US. Because we started from the different point, from different technology. So we use the modern IT light technology, low cost R&D. So we would really not only take the growing market share that is 47% growth, we also take some piece of the bigger players that charge 3-4 times more than we charge.
Okay, so you are cheaper than them, so let's say more convenient.
It's very important for retail price. They are low margin, like 7 to 8 marginal businesses. They care about the price. That's why I exclude capex that helps to open many doors.
So what's your strategy for, you are in somehow lucky because maybe if you get some very big client, they have operations everywhere, so they will bring you everywhere.
Yeah.
Except that, what's your strategy to scale your business?
We win retail. We already won some, and we then move to suppliers. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of suppliers who suffer from auto shelves, from waste. And we also may occupy industrial production. We may also operate in this B2C market, like navigation and delivery companies, assistants, like we have Glovo or Uber Eats, who want to make sure that people find easily the products in the appropriate places. We help them. So there are alliances. We work with the IT suppliers. We have contracts with them who install their system with use of our service. Like we send them by API our data they use for bigger players like Tesco. They serve Tesco, planogram, okay? And we serve with our recognition microservice for Tesco. So this is the strategy. We have agreements signed, and we have appropriate technology to do it.
Okay, thank you. Let me close with this one. Why investors should invest in Recoshelf and in yourself?
Because they buy the future big growing blue ocean, and they work with professionals who opened and launched Nokia level businesses before.
And how did they exit? One day they need to exit from your business.
There are many options like this. We believe the corporate M&A is the preferred, like Intel's, any kind of this large company, if they acquire us to add the jewel to their crown, or maybe competitors like Trucks Retail, that multi-billion company that buys markets and our contracts. They don't want to waste time. They want to buy at once and pay $40 or $50 million. This is the most promising exits.
As I say to all the entrepreneurs, of course, investors one day have to exit, and they will, but I do hope for you to IPO one day, because IPO is always the best, the ultimate goal, and the highest pleasure for any entrepreneur, okay? The pleasure to IPO, it's always go public and be public. It's always beautiful. So I do wish you
thank you
all the best to go public one day and experience something which is absolutely amazing. Yaroslav, thank you very much for coming to BizTalk. It's been a very great pleasure.
Thank you, Max.
I hope see you again. Have another nice talk, and maybe when you are already making 10 million.